If you only read the headlines, you'd think Zomato is in serious trouble. Everywhere you look, the story is the same. Zomato is facing intense heat. If you only read the headlines, you'd think Zomato is in serious trouble. Everywhere you look, the story is the same. Zomato is facing intense heat. Recent reports show a shocking 90% drop in net profit. The stock is all over the place, and the whole narrative feels like one big struggle. From the outside, it looks like a giant stumbling in a cutthroat market. The numbers paint a grim picture, and it's easy to assume the worst. But what if the headlines are wrong? What if that entire story, the one focused on quarterly profit dips, is making everyone miss what's actually going on? Because while the analysts are watching stock tickers, they're missing the action on the ground. In cities like Trivandrum, Zomato isn't just getting by, it's quietly building a fortress. This is the untold story of how Zomato is actually winning the food war, not in the crowded streets of Mumbai or Delhi, but in the heart of India's emerging cities. Okay, let's be real. The food delivery game in India is a war zone. You've got intense competition, paper-thin margins, and a constant pressure to offer discounts. Making a profit is a massive challenge. So when a company like Zomato, now under its parent name Eternal Lieutenant, reports a 90% drop in profit, it sends shockwaves. And the main culprit, Zomato's massive cash-burning bet on its quick commerce service, Blinkit. This creates a huge dilemma. How does a public company explain that kind of hit to its bottom line? How can it afford to pour money into so-called Tier 2 cities, which are seen as less profitable with smaller order sizes? This is the part of the story that makes investors sweat. It looks like a reckless gamble when they should be playing it safe. But here's the twist. This isn't a story about profits shrinking. It's a story about explosive growth, funded by a very specific, calculated plan. In the exact same quarter that profits fell, Zomato's revenue from operations shot up by an incredible 70% year-on-year to over 7,100 crore rupees. That isn't a sign of a company that's struggling. It's the sign of a company making a massive strategic pivot. Zomato's future isn't in the oversaturated metro battlegrounds. The key is the playbook they're perfecting in places like Trivandrum. Zomato is running a secret strategy here, built on 3 powerful pillars that flip conventional wisdom on its head. And it's working. The first pillar of this secret playbook is a masterclass in thinking small to win big, hyperlocal conquest. In a city like Trivandrum, you don't win by just having the big national chains. You win by becoming part of the local scene. Zomato gets that the soul of a city's food culture isn't in a burger franchise, it's in the neighborhood bakery, the beloved local sadhya joint, and the family-run biryani spot that's been around for decades. Zomato's strategy has been to get these local heroes on the app, and fast. They aren't just names on a list, they're the culinary heartbeat of Trivandrum. This isn't just about growing a database, it's about capturing authenticity. When someone in Trivandrum opens the app, they don't just see generic options, they see their own city staring back at them. But it goes deeper than just having the most restaurants. It's about marketing that speaks the local language, literally. Their campaigns and notifications are increasingly fine-tuned to regional cultures. We got a taste of this with Zomato's Onam campaign in Kerala, which used regional stories and a Malayalam soundtrack to strike a real emotional chord. This isn't some generic one-size-fits-all ad, it's a targeted move that builds trust. Focusing on regional creators and local language makes Zomato feel less like a faceless corporation and more like a neighborhood service. It's a strategy that knows trust in these cities is built on what feels familiar. Every time a user in Trivandrum orders from their favorite local spot, Zomato becomes less of an outsider and more of an essential part of the community. That deep connection is the first step to building a defensive wall that competitors will find nearly impossible to climb. If you're finding this breakdown of Zomato's strategy interesting, do me a favor and hit subscribe. We dig past the headlines to show you how businesses are really winning in the real world. Pillar number 2 is the one that has everyone scratching their heads. It's the very thing that tanked their profits by 90%. The massive investment in Blinkit. On the surface, spending billions to build a 10-minute grocery delivery service in a market that's already packed looks like a terrible idea. Analysts have been quick to point out that Blinkit's aggressive expansion is killing Zomato's profitability. But here's the secret. Zomato isn't just building another grocery app. They're building a high-frequency habit engine. Just think about your own habits. How often do you order a full meal from a restaurant? A few times a week, maybe. Now, how often do you need milk, bread, a snack, or a cold drink? For a lot of us, that's a daily thing, sometimes multiple times a day. That's the genius of the Blinkit play. See, quick commerce isn't the end goal, it's the Trojan horse. By offering super-fast delivery of everyday items, Blinkit gets users to open the app all the time. It becomes a reflex. And every single time a user opens Blinkit, they are just one tap away from the entire Zomato universe. In fact, for the first time in the last quarter, the net order value from quick commerce was actually higher than from food delivery. In a growing market like Trivandrum, that's a game changer. As more people get hooked on the convenience of 10-minute delivery for small things, Zomato builds an insane level of customer engagement. This isn't about selling groceries. It's about owning the "what do I need right now" moment. That financial loss from Blinkit. It isn't a bug, it's a feature. It's the price of acquiring customers and building habits at an enormous scale. Zomato is happy to lose a little money on a packet of chips today because it knows that customer is way more likely to order a 500 rupee dinner tomorrow. They're using groceries to build a deep, daily relationship with you, turning a simple food app into an essential part of your life. The final piece of the puzzle is the one you can't see, but it might be the most important of all. A relentless focus on efficiency through technology. Winning in a Tier 2 city like Trivandrum demands a totally different game plan than a massive metro like Mumbai. The traffic is different, the city layout is different, and the population isn't as dense. Zomato is using this to its advantage. Fewer traffic jams mean faster delivery times and lower fuel costs for every order. This makes their entire logistics network more efficient and the economics of each delivery much healthier. But the real magic is happening behind the scenes. Zomato has been pouring money into artificial intelligence to streamline its entire operation. This isn't some far-off concept, it's happening right now. They're using AI for everything from predicting demand for restaurants to adjusting prices dynamically to maximize profit. A prime example is a new in-house AI platform they've reportedly developed called Nugget. Nugget is an AI-powered customer service tool that handles over 15 million customer issues every single month across Zomato and Blinkit. It can apparently solve up to 80% of all queries on its own, which frees up human agents to deal with the really tricky problems. This slashes operational costs, makes customers happier with instant answers, and creates a system that can grow without hiring thousands of new support staff. This AI-powered efficiency is Zomato's secret weapon. While competitors wrestle with high costs and logistical headaches, Zomato is building a lean, tech-first machine. In cities like Trivandrum, where being efficient is everything, this tech gives them a massive, sustainable advantage. So, let's circle back. The headlines are screaming that Zomato's profit is down 90%, but that's not the real story, is it? The real story is so much bigger. That profit dip isn't a sign of failure. It's the price tag on a calculated multi-billion-dollar investment in total market dominance. While everyone was staring at that one number, Zomato grew its revenue by 70%. And they did it by running a brilliant three-part secret strategy in high-growth cities like Trivandrum. First, they won the city's heart by going hyperlocal, bringing on beloved local restaurants and speaking their language. Second, they used Blinkit as a Trojan horse, not just to deliver groceries, but to build an unbeatable daily habit and own the customer's attention. And third, they built an invisible engine of AI and efficiency with tools like Nugget to make the whole thing profitable for the long haul. The Zomato story in Trivandrum is a perfect snapshot of their larger ambition. They get that the future isn't just in the big metros, but in the hundreds of emerging cities just now coming online. Zomato isn't just taking the heat, it's using the fire to forge a bigger, stronger empire. The headlines might show a dip in profit, but the strategy on the ground points to a quiet, undeniable victory. What do you think of this high-risk, high-growth strategy? Is the short-term pain worth the long-term gain? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.